We all have heard how good it is, how you should read it, how is the best part.
But is SBR really that good?
Welcome, Morioh citizens, to another video.
In my opinion, Steel Ball Run is really my favorite JoJo part.
And I won't deny it. I'm siding with him on that one. Like, it really is like my favorite part. It's his favorite part. Like, it's a majority of JoJo fans' favorite part.
This was Araki's peak of writing. Like,
it really was.
It was really good. It's really good. Like, Joe Jolien is also pretty good, but I'd say Steel Ball Run is maybe a bit better than Joe Jolien when it comes to
pacing, like plot characters, like all that kind, especially characters. Like, it's really just like, I don't know, it's more to like my forte. Like, in my opinion, and I'm guessing like AK's opinion too. Yeah. Like, part 7 was like the superior part to part 8. You know, like whenever like a discussion like comes up, like, you know, about part 7, like I always like get asked the question, like, you know, is it really that good? Like, is it really like as hype as like people hype it up to be?
Yes, but it isn't a masterpiece. We're not talking about how there's no such thing of like a real masterpiece. We call it a masterpiece. Like, when we call something a masterpiece, usually we just think it's really good. I mean, you could call it a masterpiece in quotation marks, but it's not an actual masterpiece. It does have some flaws, but overall it is pretty good.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like a lot of people like kind of overhype it. Like, it's really like overrated in like some aspects, in my opinion. Like, some people say, like, you know, it's like the you know, the next Bible or something like that, and I mean, like, that's like overstretching it a bit, to be honest.
The next
like,
Bible.
I love it. I love this part. I really do. But it's like, you know, it's not like Shakespeare, or it's not like some like, you know, high literary genius. Like, it's really good, but it's not, you know, some like,
it's not like the best piece of art and everything. Really, I don't know why, but most JoJo fans really get pissed when someone says their favorite part is SBR. Even though we know their favorite part is SBR, they just want to be like the cool kid and be like, yo, SBR sucks. And like, it's like the same kind of situation where those people who don't like Attack on Titan, because really, Attack on Titan is pretty good. I don't see a reason why people would hate it, besides like it's too overhyped and such in the case as SBR.
Yeah, and I'm really, you know, that's a discussion for like another time about like how fandoms can affect a series and stuff. But I feel like the real problem with overhyping stuff is like it just raises like expectation to like an unrealistic degree.
I mean, come
on,
really, like, there were great moments and great surprises. We're about to go into spoiler territory here, so if you haven't read SBR, I suggest you do, and then maybe come back to this video. So I mean, there was a very hyped moment when Diego's world came up. Oh my god, I nearly fell off my chair. That was
some like
so
epic
cool
fan service.
This kind of conflicts with the idea, is SBR really up to the hype? Because I don't know, at times it can be, at times it's not really a work of art.
It's not like War and Peace, you know, it's not like 1,200 pages of just like, you know, a literary classic, but it's like, it's still like the best part of JoJo. Out of all the parts, I definitely say like part 7 is like my favorite and probably the best one.
Yeah.
Because it really like encapsulates like the spirit of JoJo, and, you know, that essence that is just like the bizarre adventure, if you will. I hope I'm not like sounding too, you know, high and mighty when I say that.
See, what makes it different with when they do with the protagonist, usually you've seen JoJo parts, it's just not really much of a backstory, but with like we started to see a kind of backstory show up for JoJo characters when like Jolene came. But when Johnny really kind of like took that idea and made it very, very right and did it he did it really greatly. Like the way the way Araki handled Johnny Joestar objectively was pretty good.
It's part of that whole deuteragonist or like two protagonist like system that just like allows for like better characters and like more time to focus on minor characters rather than like, you know, the typical like 5 or 6 person cast that's like typical with JoJo. In Ventore part 5, like you saw like how well developed like the main characters were at the sacrifice of like all the minor villains and like, you know, Giorno's character. Yeah, it's kind of like the opposite effect here.
In like, SBR, you see, for example, Ringo Road again. He has an actual backstory And he's just a very overall interesting character, which maybe could be a video for another day.
For a minor villain, like that was like something new. It was like something just different. And I was like surprised, like, wait, is this guy like a permanent member now, or is he? But no, he was like a minor villain. And that just like kind of, you know, surprising to me, really.
And speaking of villain, of course, one of the stars of the shows. I mean, technically everyone steals the spotlight. But here, Funny Valentine, compared to other JoJo villains, he is like top tier. I mean, you kind of like respect Valentine's motivation and the way he does things. You can't really get why Dio is evil, why Kira just kills people, why.
Right.
And then we have Diablo, not really my favorite JoJo villain in my opinion. But Funny Valentine, you see his sense of justice really, and there's kind of like a duality between Johnny and Valentine.
It's really like with Funny Valentine, right? When I was reading it, right, like I hadn't seen like such a well-developed like villain in JoJo since Kira. It was nice just to like read that and be like, wow, this character, it's kind of debatable whether or not he's a villain.
Exactly.
Like
and at times
because what he's doing is like he has like the justification, you know, it's like that whole it's like Attack on Titan. It's constantly like toying with you of like who's in the right, who's in the wrong.
Yeah, at times it shows at times it shows the heroes as the villain, and really, that plays with Diego too. Diego is way better than Dio.
Honestly, yes. No, we covered that in a previous video.
He's really on neither side, just constantly like hopping between them. That's kind of
like self-serving.
That's kind of pretty cool. And what makes SBR really good is Araki had to start over and have like a fresh mind. He used the characters and ideas from part 1 and made it into an original, beautiful story.
When you are like, as a writer, or like given like creativity like that, like just a fresh, clean slate that you can do anything with, like with the materials in front of you, like that just allows for like, you know, a better story overall. You know, you see that as like a result. This is like the first part where he didn't like have any like baggage. It was just full creativity with like the new skills he learned, and it really showed.
While still having the same ideas and mindset.
While still like retaining that like JoJo feel.
And you know what the best part of SBR is, FD?
What is it, AK?
Oh, you already know. Our favorite, Gyro Zappelli.
Oh, no.
Yes. Gyro Zappelli is just a joy to watch. Generally, one of the most enjoyable and most likable JoJo characters in all of JoJo, really.
He really is, like, you know, he claims, like, my spot is, like, favorite character for, like, a reason.
Same.
Like, I can't wait until he's animated. I really can't. Like, people are gonna fall in love with him instantly.
And he's got
this, like, certain charm.
See, it handles the Joe Bros differently. In, like, earlier parts, the Joe Bros are, like, the support role and everything. It's here, like, Gyro is taking the main spotlight.
The thing that, like, both of us, like, noticed when we were reading, right, it's, like, the spotlight, like, it kept switching between the two. And that goes back to, like, the whole, like, deuteragonist point that we made, where it was, like, there's 2 protagonists this time. And they're like equal in stance. Like we got Johnny Joestar, who's the JoJo, and we got Gyro Zappelli, who's like, you know, the de facto Joe Bro. When in reality, he's just as much of a protagonist as Johnny, which I just absolutely love.
And it just, of course, Araki dives into both of their backstories equally. Although Gyro at times could be considered the main protagonist.
That's one of the things that like people like hype up. It's just like, oh yeah, our main character, Gyro Zappelli, when that statement actually has like some merit to it.
Johnny and Gyro's relationship, you see it develop over the course of the story, and you're kind of attached to these characters. And major spoiler warning here, but eventually when Gyro sacrifices his life for Johnny to learn the spin and unlock Tusk Act 4, that was really heartbreaking because Gyro, that felt very emotional. Gyro and Johnny had a really strong bond together that you really don't see with Joe Bros and JoJo's in this series in general.
Well, one of those moments that like people tend to say that like it was like, you know, like heart-wrenching and like all these like different like synonyms for that. That final battle where he unlocks like Tusk Act 4, really, it isn't overhyped. Like, it is really like that good. The rumors are true. Love Train versus Tusk Act 4 is just as good as all those people in the comment sections are saying and all that stuff.
Comparing to other JoJo parts, Part 5 tried to do a similar thing with Gold Experience Requiem. However, that was different. Tusk Act 4 was part of Johnny's ability from the start.
With Johnny's like ability, like it was all building up to that. Like you saw like his progression and stuff. With Gold Experience Requiem, it was kind of just, for lack of a better term, just like a plot device that gave like a MacGuffin, really.
It was.
It wasn't done like as well as it could have been. So in conclusion, SBR
is a little really overrated, but it is really that good.
We are the Morioh citizens,
and we'll see you guys next time.